Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mongooli Show. Now, as a lot of you noticed, we did take last week off. I was away camping with the family. It was a great time, so we have to get back into this, and we've got 2 weeks worth of backlog to go over. Now, some of it I'm going to go over pretty quickly because it either doesn't matter anymore or you should know about it, but I will try and touch on everything, and then we'll get into this week's blog and see exactly what we're going to have to be doing this week coming up in Marvel Strike Force. Let's get into the video. First things first, they improved the Strike Store. Now, if you don't spend money on this game, this will not have any impact on you whatsoever. But if you are a light spender or even a whale, this is going to have a pretty significant impact. As the Strike Store, that's the store where if you spend money in game, like this is what replaced the more bang for your buck or better bang for your buck or whatever that was called. So in game, you can use the credits you get from spending money in order to get better rewards. However, originally, a lot of people, myself included, looked at those rewards and went, these are not worth what we're spending. And this is actually a little bit worse than the bang for your buck used to be. Scopely listened, they changed it around. So hopefully you didn't spend any of your energy beforehand. If you still got that energy now, this is a much better store for you. There's more variety, you're getting better value, you're getting more options. That's the same thing. It's just better off. This is a big win. I wish this is the way the store was from the very beginning, but they fixed it relatively quickly, so I'm pretty happy with this. Go check out the Strike Store if you want to see what's there. Again, this will not affect you if you are not a spender, though. If you are free to play, ignore this section. Next up, we've got the Strike Surge. You'll notice in-game there is a milestone section you can get through, and the very last milestone, one of the prizes is a 7-day login token. So if you don't have that, or if you missed out on that, like you missed a day somewhere here or there, that's a great way of getting that token back. Unfortunately, the milestone's only going to stick around for about 30 days or so, and after that, if you don't claim it, it's completely useless to you. There's no inventory in which you can keep it in. So hoard it for now, but once you get down to like a day or two left, if you don't need it, or even if you don't need it, claim it at that point. But right here, right now, if you haven't already hit the claim button on it, save it until you do need it. I personally think this would actually be a lot better if it was an achievement instead of a milestone. I reached out and did mention that to Scopely. I doubt they're going to take that suggestion, but we'll see. If they do, it could live in your achievements in perpetuity. The achievements don't go away, whereas the milestones do. So that could be really good. The downside to that is you will have a red dot that you won't want to click on your main screen. And I understand that'll bother the crap out of me, but I've learned to live with it in other sections. I can learn to live with it here. And then if somewhere down the road, a year and from now, whatever, I do miss a day, there's my 7-day login streak right ready to go again. I think that's a good suggestion, but we'll see if they take any note of it. The Orcus team has officially been announced. Now, I'm not going to go over every single kit here. Smarter people than me like to do that. Go check out Doolum, Benny Westside, Dorky Dad. Any of those guys have good breakdowns for these videos. Valley Flying is a great one as well. Essentially, what we're looking at, you can see in this photo, is Sentinel, Nimrod, Omega Sentinel, and then reworks for Lady Deathstrike and Scientist Supreme. Now, every content creator out there is going to tell you how incredible Lady Deathstrike and Scientist Supreme are, and they're not wrong. It's not much of a hot take at this point. They are phenomenal. So definitely be working on leveling those characters up. And keep in mind, if you're working on the Orcus raid, these two characters do get the bonuses because they are part of the Orcus team. So you don't need to wait on getting the other 3. Bring these 2 characters up and start using them in that raid today. The live improvements are already good to go. You will get the benefit from them. Also, I'm just stoked that Sentinel's in the game. I haven't really seen him in the game yet. I haven't really played with him or anything like that, but I just think he looks really cool. He looks exactly like I want him to from like the 90s, from what I remember. So this is a character I'm legitimately stoked for. Nimrod's fine. I have no idea who this is. The rest of the team, sure, but like having a Sentinel in this game, I think is cool. And he brings in 2 bots. You can actually have a legion of Sentinels. I think this is going to be a fun little team. I'm looking forward to it. The third Envoy Cosmic Crucible tournament happened on Thursday with Updog taking top place. Congratulations, Updog. Very well-deserved win. We also had good showings from Mobile Gamer, Juicy, Dacier, I apologize, Benny Westside, Dorky Dad, and Valley Flying. Unfortunately, Doolum was not able to make it at the last minute, so the Scopely team actually put together, from my understanding, 3 different people that came in, and they were all just kind of hanging out and giving suggestions and ideas and played around for that one. It was a nice fix for a last minute dropout, unfortunately. Would have loved to have seen Doolum participate, but unfortunately that was not an option this week. There are 2 redemption codes you can use. I'll put those on screen, as I'm forgetting exactly what they are at the moment, but they'll be on screen. Make sure you go and claim those while you can. They are actually pretty decent rewards. The Odin kit is available for you if you want to go take a look at that. Again, there are other content creators who will go over it more in depth, but suffice to say, he's bananas. This guy is going to be an absolute game changer. You're definitely going to want him. He is a Dark Dimension character, so it's kind of redundant to say that he's bananas. Pretty much all of them have been crazy when they first came out. The really interesting thing about this character is he's going to require 3 purple ISO 8 as opposed to requiring like a gear tier 19 or 20 or something like that. So we don't know exactly what the requirements are going to be beyond that. If you're going to need gear tier 19 characters, they probably won't be required as far as getting in the door goes, but they might be required as far as actually completing the nodes. It might just be that's how high this is tuned up, but we don't really know. All we know is that you do need to have 3 purple ISO on the characters to get in the front door. And there is going to be a planner on that coming out soon on marvelstrikeforce.com. It's not there yet, but I'll let you know when it does come out so you can go check out exactly how much ISO you need for what teams and what teams are necessary, all that good stuff. Keep your eye out for that one. The only section from the last week's blog that's really interesting that I want to touch on is that they actually changed up the Elite Store orbs. They moved the Red Star Diamond and Master Diamond orbs over to the Elite Store. So if you're looking for those, you're not really sure what they are, that's where you can find them. And they did remove the silver and gold promotion credits as an option to buy with your elite credits, just to try and clean the store up a little bit. I didn't know that they had done this because, again, I was off last week, so I wasn't really paying that much attention. So today when I showed up, I had like 14 diamonds to open, which was kind of cool. Didn't get anything good, but it was still kind of fun to see that there was that many options there. So make sure you're going over, checking the Elite Store for the orbs for that, because you might have a happy surprise waiting for you too. Okay, there's 3 different blogs available about the Shattered Dimension, which started on August 28th, last Wednesday. Now, I'm not going to go into all 3 of them because it's kind of irrelevant. The Shattered Dimension is live in-game right now. What you need to know is originally, they wanted you to have 3 of the Annihilator team members in there. The community complained because there's a lot of people who don't have access to Gore, Gladiator, or Thanos because their releases are pretty terrible, let's be perfectly honest. And so they did, in fact, go back and change that. So now you need Cosmic characters or Annihilator characters. So that's a great change. The other thing going on with it is usually you get your 1 run and then you get a timed run, and that's all the rewards you're going to get. You can keep playing, but it just doesn't do anything for you. There was an issue with this one, and they decided to leave it up where you can actually do it a 3rd, 4th, 5th time, as many times as you can get it in the 7-day period, and you're going to keep getting the rewards for it. Now, this is actually a great change that they didn't take this down. They just decided to leave it up. I don't know what this is going to do to the leaderboard. That's going to get super interesting. And if you're like me, where you're like, oh, I can only do it 2 times, so it doesn't really matter when. So I didn't start it right away, and I didn't start the second one until quite a bit later. That's really going to hurt you because you want to get in as much as possible because this gets some pretty decent rewards. Now, the final node where you get like the red stars or the diamonds for the characters, my understanding is that node does not pay out. But all the nodes leading up to that with the training materials and stuff like that do pay out. So make sure you're doing Shattered Dimension as many times as you can over the course of the next week. Now, when you complete it, there is a 24-hour cooldown. So again, do it early, do it often, get those rewards. Version 8.3 went live, and the biggest thing we're going to talk about here is that with Season 10 of Cosmic Crucible, they've made some drastic changes into how they're going to pay out, or not pay out, sorry, in how you're going to earn points in Cosmic Crucible. So essentially, if your Tribunal rating is 1100 or below, on winning, you will earn more points than your opponent loses. This way, it'll make it easier for you to climb out of that rank, which is kind of nice. If you're between 1100 and 1899, on winning, you will earn the same number of points your opponent loses, so you just gain whatever they lose. Tribunal 1900 to 2699, on winning, you will earn less points than your opponent loses. And if you're over 2700, you will earn at least 1 point for winning. Now, if you don't know where to find this, let's take a look in-game. All right, so in-game, if you go to Season and click on that, you'll see your Tribunal rating right there. You can see I am 1,511. So I'm going to be in that second category where I'm going to be earning as many points as my opponent loses, and we'll see how that goes. This week in Cosmic Crucible, I've got an opponent who literally is double my TCP. So that's terrifying. Hopefully I don't have to fight him. And speaking of Cosmic Crucible, Season 10 starts on September 1st. That's this Sunday. So make sure you change your room defenses and stuff around so that it is the best it can possibly be. Updog won the tournament, so I'm certain he's got some great videos and great insight into what exactly he has on defense, what he's using on offense, all of that great stuff. Now, obviously, with the tournament, you're not using your actual roster, so some characters are much stronger than they normally would be. Some characters are much weaker than they would normally be, but I'm sure he's got some great ideas on that. Now, I'm not going to go over every single room here because I will probably make a separate separate video on that, so be on the lookout for that. And I'll talk about what I plan on using in my defenses as a mid-platinum player. So if you want to check that out, hit subscribe on the video so you can see when that video goes live. Other than that, let's get into the weekly blog for this week. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mongooli Show. This October 4th, I'm going to be celebrating my second annual anniversary bash. Now, what the hell is an anniversary? Well, that's my 42nd year on this planet, my second year on YouTube, and my first year on Twitch, all rolled into one big party, and I decided we're going to host a charity event. Now, all of the money proceeded on this event is going to go towards the Canadian Alzheimer's Society. My grandfather had Alzheimer's actually really badly. He was very sick with it by the end, and unfortunately, it is a genetic disease. So as my father gets older, I'm getting a little bit worried about him, and if I'm being super selfish, because it's genetic, I could suffer from this down the road at some point. So this is a cause that's very close to my heart and something I'd love to help support in any way that I can, and I'd love to reach out to you guys and see if we can donate a ton of money towards this great cause. Okay, first and foremost, this event is going to be live over at twitch.tv/The Mongooli Show. I'm not going to be broadcasting this on YouTube. So you're going to have to head over there and hit the follow button, but don't subscribe just yet. Save that money for October the 4th so that it goes to charity. And if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can subscribe for free, but again, not until October 4th, because you can only do that once a month, and probably by the time you're seeing this, there won't be enough time in between. Now, the event is going to start on October 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be scheduled to go for 4 hours. That's the minimum amount of time that's going to happen. But depending on how much you're willing to donate, that could be raised as much as 24 hours, taking me all the way till 6 p.m. on October the 5th. What you're going to want to do is either subscribe or donate money to the charity. Now, every $100 that gets donated, I'll push the event 1 extra hour, or every 25 subscriptions that gets donated, I'll make it 1 hour longer. Now, those are cumulative. You don't need to donate all of that money yourself in one go. You just need to have that happen. We need to hit those goals over the time for it to happen. As soon as we hit a time barrier, I am ending the stream right away. So if we get enough donations to get to 5 hours and we make it to 5 hours in 1 minute, done. It's over right then and there. I'm just going to shut her right down. So we need to make sure that we're keeping the donations going to keep the stream going up to 24 hours. So again, if you got any suggestions for what you'd like to say, leave them down in the comments below so we know when they're going to happen. Other than that, I hope to see you October 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's try and make this the best event we possibly can, because it's all going towards an amazing cause. The weekly blog is simply called Exterminate, and as of Monday, you're going to be able to get a strike pass featuring Hank Pym, which is an incredibly strong Cosmic Crucible character. I don't know if you're willing to spend on that, but even if you're not, you'll get some free shards doing the path on that one. And then you're going to keep your eye out for inbox messages relating to Panda Pool going to the raid store and raid orb, Dak into the arena store and arena orb, Spider-Man Pavitar to Blitz store and Blitz orb. And now the Spotlight orb looks like they're changing, because the last 2 Spotlight orbs, you got 5 guaranteed shards of a very good character. This time you're going to get 5 shards of one of 5 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Now, they're all good characters, but if you're only looking for one specifically, like the only one on this list I need is Penny, I guess, and Peter. Fair enough. I need 2 of the characters. You're going to get 1 of the 5, but you're still going to get 5 shards for them. And these are still 5 fairly new good characters. So I'm sure this is great for everybody, but it's not like when I think Pavitar went there and I just spammed it and I guaranteed myself a Pavitar, or Void Knight before then, where you just like, bam, now I've got 7 stars on Void Knight. So it's a little bit worse if you're high end and you're looking for one specific character. It's much better if you're a lower end character and you need a bunch of people, because all of these are good characters that you're going to be using. So is it a plus? Is it a minus? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. On Tuesday, September 3rd is your first chance to get a hold of Sentinel. You can do that by spending power cores or cash for offers. This is the exact same release method as always. However, I do like that the orb is called Halt Mutant. I don't know if that just tickles me the right way. Also, make sure that you're opening your red star orbs, trying to get the red stars for him, as he is going to have a better drop rate, again, as per usual. Now, also as per usual, we're going to have a showcase for this team, but they're switching things up a little bit. Best I can tell, instead of you getting energy that you're going to refresh every single day, what you're going to get are these, I don't have it highlighted for some reason, ciphers that you're going to get. Now, it does mention ciphers and gold ciphers. I'm assuming that that is 2 separate things, as opposed to them calling them differently throughout the blog, but it's not really clear. You're going to get 3 ciphers right off the bat. And for the story mode, you don't require ciphers. You can just play those missions. They'll give you the teams you need. You can just get the rewards from that. But after that, once you start doing the bonus and the higher difficulties, you will require these ciphers. You're going to get the 3 that we mentioned, but the other way to get them is from doing the Orcus raids. Now, if you're already participating in the Orcus raids like I am, this is probably not an issue. But if you're struggling with the Orcus raids or your alliance isn't doing the Orcus raids, it sounds like you're not going to be able to get into this event pretty much at all, which is a little unfortunate. So I think for higher end players, they probably won't notice that much of a difference. For younger, newer players, this could be a serious stopgap. But I'm not going to go screaming that the sky is falling until this event actually starts and we can see exactly how it works. That's just my initial I wonder how that's going to be. We'll have to see. There are easier versions of Orcus raids, so maybe there's a version you can get into, even if it doesn't pay out the better rewards than some of the other raids you can do, even just doing it a little bit. Maybe you can just get the ciphers from it and be good to go. Again, we won't know for sure until this event goes live. Lady Deathstrike is an important part of that team, and again, is an absolutely bananas character. So if you don't have her at 7 stars, you can now look for her as part of the Mystic Campaign Chapter 1, Node 3. This is a character you're definitely going to unlock, and you're definitely going to build up pretty highly. Marvel Strike Force has been doing some graphical updates recently. Now, the unfortunate side of that is if you do have an older phone, one of the ones on the list here, I'm not going to go through every single one of them, that might be an issue for you. And in fact, they do even mention that in the future, they might need to start adding more phones to the list of unsupported technology just to try and make the game run better. So if you are playing on a much older device, you might want to start looking at a newer device, maybe a tablet, a phone, playing it on your PC, however you want to continue playing, because some old devices are either going to run this poorly or not at all. So just be on the lookout for that. You can reach out to customer support, tell them what your phone is, and they will let you know whether or not you're good to go or you're having issues, what you can do about it. Starting on Tuesday, we're going to have an event where you can unlock Gladiator. It's going to give you 100 shards for this character. Now, this is definitely a little bit later. We wanted this in time for Shattered Dimension. We wanted this in time for Arena. Better late than never, I guess, but this should have been like 2 weeks ago. I'll take it now, fine, so be it, but I'm not going to give them much credit for it because this is way too late and I don't really love it. But there are 100 Gladiator shards on the line here, so even if you haven't opened a single one of those arena orbs, you will be able to unlock this character, assuming you can get down to 71,000 points. Now, at my initial math, we just did this really quickly, you are going to be able to spend ISO 8 energy at a rate of 4-to-1. You can battle in Cosmic Crucible to get 24,000 points. You can earn Crimson Orb fragments from the Feeder event. You can get about 10,000 of those from that. And then you can blitz with Annihilators for another 5,000 points. Now, if you've got one of the 3 new Annihilator characters at 5 stars, you can get even more points than that. But I'm guessing most of us don't, or at least the free-to-play and cheap-to-play players don't. So that's not really going to be a point option. So if you add all those numbers up, you're still looking at about 65,000 points with the regular 200 coring of the ISO 8 energy. You need 71,000, so you probably will need to core a little bit more than that. There will be a free gift on the web store. I don't know how much that's going to be. I don't know if that'll make up the extra 6,000 points that you're going to need or not. So you might need to core a little bit extra just to make sure you get to that 71,000 points to get those extra 40 Gladiator shards. As far as the Feeder event goes, you're going to want to spend radioactive treats, and you're going to want to spend 65,000 of them. Now, if you haven't already got that many in your bank, maybe just start saving up over the weekend. There are some milestones right now that are paying these out. So if you can save that up, you could potentially do this in one day. Just refresh the store a couple of times. 65,000 isn't a ridiculous amount, but it is quite a lot. So if you can get this done, again, you'll get 10,000 of Crimson Council Orb fragments, as well as some other augmented, superior gear, stuff like that. The Crimson Council is really what you're here for. Also starting on Tuesday, September 3rd, is this Alliance event where you're going to want to be playing in raid battles in order to score points to get some cosmic power and some Sentinel Orcus Orb fragments. Don't know why that's so hard to say. As well as just some regular armory gear and T2 level 4, stuff like that. What you're going to want to do is play raid battles. You can get 192,000 points maximum from that with you and your alliance, as well as earning the Supply 6 Orb fragments, and you'll even get milestone points from playing the Orcus nodes, so you will want to be doing that. You will probably get more points for playing at higher levels, so be on the lookout for that event when it starts on September 3rd. Hello. Next week's Quick Rumble event is going to be as Guardian. There's tons of them, and they've been out for a long time, so this should not take you any time at all. And a couple of non-news items at the very bottom here. September login calendar, there's going to be a 7-day login calendar that's going to include Power Cores, Annihilator Orb Fragments, Mega Orbs, TS, IS-8 credits, and Jarvis Orbs. So be on the lookout for that. It's just a calendar, so it's free, so no problems there. There's a new Cosmic Crucible frame for the top 100 players, and this frame actually looks pretty sweet. I'll put it on the screen right now with my profile picture. I like this quite a bit, but also there is no chance I'm ever earning this, so be it. But for those who can, this is pretty cool. Because it's a diamond, get it? And then there's celebrating 85 years of Marvel. This is a great milestone for Marvel to hit by just giving you some free stuff. It looks like it's going to show up in your mailbox, so literally nothing you need to do other than log into the game, and you'll get help to clobber your enemies, power up your uncanny heroes, and create amazing adventures. Again, just free stuff. No problems there. All right, and that's it for this week in review. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We recorded this live over at twitch.tv/the Mongooli Show. So if you want to head over there, hit that follow button. That would be incredible. And if you're here on YouTube, you made it this far in the video, you probably enjoyed it. Feel free to hit that like button as it does help out the channel quite a bit. And if you can subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Other than that, Commanders, I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. And until next time, good luck to you.